Yes, absolutely, Armin. It's a matter of survival. It's not negotiable. It's not a question of different point of view. It's absolutely mandatory. Cybersecurity investment aspect, risk, it's mandatory for every type, every kind of business. The small one, the medium one, obviously the biggest. This is my point of view based on numbers, the evaluation of the risk, and what we see every day happening in our infrastructure, in our firewall, in our security boundaries. How many times there are tentative of attack, and how many times we survive against them.
First of all, what are the possible consequences of a cyber incident? Loss of production, downtime, loss of end customer reputation, loss of insurability. So is it existential? I don't know. It depends on many different factors. Depends on the severity of the incident, it depends on the size of the organization, and quite obviously it also depends on the preparedness of the organization. I think probably everybody would agree that this is some type of hassle that you do not want to deal with. You want to avoid it. If we look at the figures that you just mentioned, total average cost of a cyber incident accounts to $4.83 million on average. Better be prepared than not to be prepared.
It's a strange war, let me say. We are maybe prepared, or we have seen before the typical stoppage of our production line. Something broke, an engine, a motor, everything else. Maybe we have not the spare part in our warehouse, and we ask for, let me say, an urgent shipment, maybe by taxi, by everything else, by airplane, and in 2-3 days we have to stop the line and then restart. This is a huge problem for every one of us. We can. There is a sort of sound in our manufacturing footprint that is a sort of knife in the stomach of the operations manager. That is a sort of stop everything. You know, we are maybe we take in consideration that this could happen for one single production line, and we do not think of a cyber attack that could affect every production line in our plant, every plant that we have in our company, and maybe could affect our suppliers and our customer in the same time. In few minutes, we do not take into consideration that we have to stop weeks and not hours or days. So what will be of our credibility? What will be of our business? What will be of our future reputation with our customers? This is something that we have to take into consideration. As I said, it's not negotiable.
Pretty clearly, each and every corrugated board producer knows quite well its production figures. And if we speak about loss of production, we end up with most likely a 5-digit number. However, still we see in the corrugated board industry one severe cyber incident per quarter. Every 3 months, there is one cyber incident that affects productivity. This tells us investments in cybersecurity are there, particularly on the IT side of things. The question is, are corrugated board producers willing to also invest in OT environments? We have seen cases where decade-old viruses have spread across the organization through the IT enterprise networks without doing any harm, but taking down the corrugator on the shop floor.
We have to develop our state of mind. We have to train ourselves in put more consideration on the typical KPI of the cyber risk, because we are used to manage and to think and evaluate our standard KPI. the overall equipment efficiency, the return of investment of a single production line. Maybe it's not a good investment. Maybe the investment return is not in 3 years, maybe in 5 years, 6 or more. We lose money, okay, or maybe we do not fit exactly the figures that we forecasted some years before. But this is something completely different. These KPIs for the cyber risk put in consideration and put on the table the entire life of the company. Mm-hmm. So if we stop for entire weeks our manufacturing facilities, we have to maybe if our sensible data are put in let me say on the web, maybe there could be issue on the manufacturing footprint. These are absolutely a huge issue compared to the previous one of it's not a good overall equipment efficiency.
So would you consider investments in cybersecurity a fixed cost rather than an opportunity cost?
Absolutely is more than fixed. It's it's not a question of the IT guys. It's not a question of the IT expert. It's a board question because it's a strategic movement. It's not an operational or a day-by-day action. Obviously, there are operational action every day, and there are the operational aspect of a cyber project. But the strategic way, the thinking, and the way you have to improve and to move to enhance the cybersecurity posture, it's a question of the board.